tonight's contest with a 17-3 overall record.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Aliso Niguel broadcast of Aliso Niguel versus Elsinore tonight. It is Monday night here at Aliso. Elsinore is from the Sun Belt League, obviously non-CVU league game. If you're interested, Elsinore is in a league with Paris High School, Paloma Valley, Lakeside, Temescal Canyon, and Heritage. All of those schools kind of within that Temecula-Murrieta Valley area. Pretty good drive to get here, if I may say so myself. Aliso Niguel coming into this game with a 3-win win streak. The last game was Friday, Aliso Niguel at San Clemente. 52-48 the score on that one. A close game compared to that last San Clemente game, which was 84-57. As we tune in now to hear the starting lineups for the Aliso Niguel Wolverines.
Wolverines on the CV lead with 18-6 overall record. Starts tonight, junior guard, number 3, Scott Lynn. Senior guard, number 4, Jonah Gann. Senior forward, number 5, Luke Chapley. Senior guard, number 15, Brian Fisher. And at center, senior number 34, Matt Mola.
Going with the same starting lineup as they have all season, as I welcome in Sammy Nabahani. Sammy, Aliso Niguel has been having a pretty easy go of it so far in the CVU League, but tonight Elsinore coming in 17-3 overall and 79th in state when Aliso's only ranked 120. What does Aliso have to do tonight to come out and compete with these Elsinore Tigers?
Well, it should be a good test for this Aliso Niguel Wolverines, as they're playing a team that's, as you said, ranked higher than them. I mean, they've got to keep up their shooting performance, as they've been great in their past games against San Juan and San Clemente. But they need to pick it up a little bit on the defensive end and make sure Elsinore doesn't run away with this one on the offensive end.
Aliso looking again for a huge game from Brian Fisher, who against the San Juan Hills had a monster game before being taken out in the fourth quarter. As the tip-off will end up with Elsinore. Number 5, Lawrence Chamberlain will inbound it. And E.J. Twyman, number 3, will take it up. That's Chamberlain with the shot and missing. As that one will be off Elsinore. Looks like it went off Chance Hover, number 4, down there in the corner, and Luke Chapley will inbound it. Scott Lynn's bringing it up. Scott looking to have a lot more playing time this game, as Ronnie is still out with an ankle injury. As Luke Chapley with the drive and foul, he will get 2 shots.
Good ball movement by the Wolverines early on. Brian Fisher able to find the open man, Luke Chapley. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to put it in, but he was fouled and will go to the line for 2.
Luke will just miss the first one.
Correction, the last foul on Hobart, his first person.
Put in the second. And Aliso will have a 1-point lead. That's Twyman taking it up the floor, and Hover gets the ball. Back to Chamberlain. Chamberlain's the main scorer and main point of offense for the Elsinore Tigers. So that's Hover working in the corner on Gans. Matt Molnar with the good defense knocks it away from number 2, Daniel Dedew. And Twyman will get it back. That's Dedew with the shot and bouncing around and clanks in. That's a 3.
Although the Tigers got a 3 points on that play, I like the Wolverines' energy on the defensive end. They've got a lot of pressure on the Tigers, and they're not letting them get an easy shot.
I have to agree with you on that one. Aliso Niguel, not the best defensive performance the last couple of games, even though they've blown them out. As that's a turnover and easy basket on the other end for Chamberlain, so 5-1. Elsinore, we'll see how Aliso Niguel responds here to being down. Last time they played a really quality opponent was at Capo as Brian Fisher throws that one away. Chamberlain back the other way, and he'll be fouled by Scott Linz. Unable to put up the shot.
Seems like Elsinore is giving Aliso some trouble with their full court press early on. They need Wolverines need to take better care of the ball and make sure not to turn it over.
Wolverines not seeing any type of full court press in the Seaview League, and Elsinore coming in and playing very aggressively and is working out so far. Already 6-1. Chamberlain drains the second free throw. Is 7-1 now. See if the Wolverines try to get some points on the board here as Scott Linz will drive in, give it off to Molnar. Molnar pump fake, and he will draw the foul. Looks like that'll be called on Twyman, number 3, going over the back. So Molnar will have 2 shots from the line, and so far, Sammy, it looks like Aliso Niguel is going to have to make a lot of these free throws here as Matt Molnar will line up for the first.
Yeah, great patience by Matt Molnar to pump fake and wait for his man to jump before taking it up strong.
This is the first, however, and he'll have his second attempt. Misses on that one too, short on both of these. Aliso Niguel only 1 from 4 for the free throw line so far. As Twyman will bring it back up, working on Scott Linz. Nice juke to the left, it takes the shot, drains it. So 9-1 already for Elsinore.
Good move by Twyman.
As Brian commits another uncharacteristic turnover here, his pass intercepted by Chamberlain, intended for Scott Linz, and Elsinore gets the ball back. Aliso really needs to get something clicking on offense soon before they let this get too out of hand. Already down by 8 and only 5:49 left. That's Dedeaux giving it down to Twyman, who puts it in, and that's a timeout for Aliso Niguel. 11-1 already with 5:41 left.
Biggest problem for Aliso so far in this game is turnovers. They need to make sure their passes are on point and maybe throw in a couple ball fakes here and there to make sure their passes don't get intercepted.
Yeah, it's clear that Aliso Niguel this is not going to be a cakewalk like the Seaview League has been for them so far. A quick overview of the Wolverines' 5-0 league schedule. Tribuco on January 4th, they won by 5. Then they blew out San Clemente 2 days later, 84-57. The next week at Laguna, 63-49. Aliso win after the non-league defeat at Capo. And then, of course, the game a couple days ago against San Juan Hills, Aliso Niguel 89-55. Just an incredible shooting performance from them. And it looks like they're going to have to have another one of those big games tonight, as Elsinore already put up 11 quick points. Brian Fisher dribbling up the court. Nice pass to Luke Chapley inside, and Luke will draw the foul.
Looks like Brian was trying to get some energy into his team as he took it up strong and made an incredible pass to Luke Chapley.
You like to see that from Brian, using his speed and strength and really exceptional vision on the court, as we've talked about all season. Making the good pass. Luke will make his free throw. And he'll make his second. So finally, Aliso with a couple points on the board is now 11-3 after the 2 made free throws.
All of the points coming from Luke Chapley.
Scott Linz intercepted the pass. Nice job giving it off to Luke. Luke missing the put-in. Fisher with the rebound, however, and his put-up is a little short. Wrestles it back, however, and puts it back up. Great job from Fisher, just wrestling that ball back as Scott Linz gets stripped in the lane, and Chamberlain will run back with it on the fast break. He will keep it himself and put it in. Frustrating break right there for Aliso, and they're down 10 once again, 13-3.
Good hustle by Brian Fisher to get a couple offensive boards, but unfortunately he wasn't able to put it in.
As Brian worked on in the corner, drives inside, and that'll be an offensive foul. Dedeaux able to draw the charge. As Brian clearly frustrated, it looks like he might have drawn a foul over in the corner, but instead gets called for the charge. So far, Elsinore just looking a little bit bigger and faster and more athletic than the Wolverines tonight.
Good call by the official. Brian Fisher probably should have dished it off to Luke Chapley, who was a little bit more wide open. I think he decided to take it up himself as Luke has missed the last couple of lay-ins.
Can't really blame Brian for that play either, as he's looking to get something going, as that's a nice little reverse layup by Hover, banking it high off the glass, and it is 15-3 now, Elsinore. Aliso Niguel really needs to get some scoring going as Scott Linz drives up. Jump shot's a little short, looks like it got touched, and that ball will be recovered and brought back up by Twyman. Twyman driving the lane, Brian Fisher strips him, scrum for the ball, and it'll be a jump ball possession, Aliso Niguel.
Wolverines seem to be a little flustered offensively, as it doesn't look like they've run their offense once against these Elsinore Tigers. Scott Linz on the pass play pulling up really early into the shot clock.
So that ball is deflected by Hover and is out of bounds on Elsinore. Aliso Niguel will get the ball back. Brian passing it up to Matt. Matt Molnar will dish it off, and Scott Linz with the three. That's short. Get his own rebound and save it to Luke Chapley. And Luke will make the 10-foot jump shot.
Luke Chapley seems to be their only source of offense so far, as he has all their points.
Aliso Niguel knows they can't win a game with only Luke Chapley putting up points, as a long three by Twyman is just in and out. Luke passing it up to Fisher, and Fisher can't handle it. Pretty upset with himself on that one. That was one he probably should have caught.
Uncharacteristic of Fisher, but good pass and vision by Luke Chapley.
Aliso Niguel just really not clicking so far, and they are down 10 right now with 3:27 left in the first. It is still 15-5 Elsinore as Chamberlain drives left. Nice move, puts it up and in.
Aliso needs to get some help on Chamberlain and make sure he doesn't get any easy layups like that. Someone should have stepped in and
that ball is out of
contested
bounds.
the shot.
Flies over by us in the broadcast tables. Aliso Niguel will keep possession. Yeah, Sammy, this full court press is really giving Aliso Niguel some issues so far. Scott Linz is able to advance it, but his pass intended for Molnar picked off by Hover. Hover on the fast break. Block from Molnar from behind. Nice defensive play there, and Jonah will run it back. Brian will put it up, and a little strong. Run back, take the three, and that's off.
He's clearly frustrated by this Elsinore defense.
Absolutely, that was a great pass from Twyman to Dedeaux, cutting, and Barnett will have to call another timeout. Horrible start from the Wolverines here, as it's already 19-5. Sammy, what do the Wolverines have to do here to get back into this ball game?
Well, right now, what's killing the Wolverines is just their composure. They need to slow it down, take control of this game, take control of the tempo, and relax on offense, and don't take it don't take shots so quickly into the shot clock. Maybe work it around and see what else they can get.
Yeah, the Wolverines really haven't been able to run any sort of offense, as you just mentioned a couple minutes ago. So let's see if they can figure out something here out of the timeout. They're already down 19-5 with 2 minutes, 45 seconds left. They really need to do something before this first quarter ends if they're going to look to get back in this game. As we get back to the action, and Fisher will inbound the Linz. Of course, Aliso Niguel's been doing a decent job of getting these passes. Luke with the outside three, and he makes it. Luke Chapley with all 8 of Aliso Niguel's points now, having a great game. Great pass.
Another wide open layup from Elsinore.
Absolutely. Twyman with the great vision, able to hit number 31, Devin Riley, who's checked into the game for Elsinore. As that pass is out of bounds by Scott Linz, and Aliso Niguel just really frustrated right now. No better word for it.
It is very uncharacteristic of the Wolverines, as they're usually a team that does great handling the ball, and especially on their passes.
We knew Elsinore was going to be a tough match coming in, but we didn't think it would be this tough, as Aliso Niguel really stymied here by Elsinore's defense. As Fisher will pick off the pass there. Look behind him to Luke, and Luke with the put in. Great pass by Fisher, not trying to do too much by himself there, able to find a cutting Luke. Well, first sign of life from the Wolverines, really, and the Wolverines really need to look for more turnovers, help him get back in this game, as that's the Doe over in the corner. Passes off. Matt Molnar with the rebound, gives it back to Fisher. It looks like a foul there called on number 31, Devin Riley.
Another thing about this Elsinore team that is helping them control this game is they're much more physical than the Wolverines, and they're able to get openings by being just that.
Fisher back on the wing. Look cross court to Jonah. Jonah will put it up. And Jonah off with the shot. Jonah really needs to knock those down tonight as the Wolverine offense struggling. That open shot, they need to put that in. Stadeau in the corner will give it back to Twyman. Twyman looking to set up a play. Gives it back to Chamberlain. Chamberlain driving right on Fisher, puts it up. Great defense by Fisher, able to get his hand up on that shot. And Scott Linds with the rebound. Scott Linds falling at midcourt, giving up the ball. And an easy two the other way for Alan Stubbs, number 10.
That's just unfortunate by Scott Linds. It seemed like he slipped on the court and just lost it.
Kai Soto with the ball, he's checked in, and his pass deflected, and another 2 points the other way for Twyman. Wolverines down 15 in the first quarter, 25-10, as Fisher takes it in, gives it to Jonah, who kisses it off the glass, and cut the deficit to 13. So we approach 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Elsinore holding for the final shot. Twyman, 1 second left, puts it up over Jonah, and that's an air ball. So a really frustrating first quarter, Sammy, as the Wolverines are down 25-12.
Yeah, not a position that they're used to being in, and you could even see it in the reaction of the crowd as all energy has basically left them.
Yeah, the Wolverines really need to get something going in the second quarter. Yeah, get that crowd energy back, get the energy back for themselves. What do you think's the key to doing that?
Ball control. They have way too many turnovers. I mean, they probably have as many turnovers as you'd want to see in maybe 3 or 4 quarters of the game. So just taking care of the ball and finding the open man. Brian Fisher has done a good job of this at some points in the first quarter when he drives and he's stopped, but he's able to find the open cutting Luke or Jonah.
Absolutely, and everyone else besides Luke has to step up. Luke having 10 or 12 points here in the first quarter. So we'll see if the Wolverines can get some points here as we head back to the game. Nolan Peralta, number 45, is checked in for Elsinore. This is Chamberlain to inbound to Twyman. The dynamic combo here, number 3 and number 5. For the Wolverines, AJ Manigault is checked in along with Kai Soto and Jake Smith. The Wolverines with Fisher and Jonah, the only 2 starters left in the game. It's Jake Smith with the rebound.
Unusual call by Coach Barnett to put AJ in the game in this type of situation, but I think what he wants to do is get a more physical and athletic player in the game.
Yeah, AJ not really known for his scoring, but definitely very athletic on the boards as Fisher puts up a 3. It's a little bit short, gets his own rebound, and goes in and fouled in the attempt. You like to see that from Brian. Those are the shots, though, however, against both San Juan and San Clemente, that those shots were falling for the Wolverines. Well, both those games they've scored 80-plus points, not falling tonight. As Brian will drain the first free throw. He'll make the second. So cutting it down to 11-point deficit is Brian Fisher. And Twyman bringing it up to court, giving it back to Chamberlain. Guarded by Jake Smith. Kai Soto switching over. Chamberlain up the middle, throws up a little wild shot, and Kai Soto with the rebound. We'll see where possession goes. And Aliso Niguel will regain it.
Better job by the Wolverines of contesting the shot and making sure it's not just a wide open layup.
Jonah Gans gets in the court, dishes it to AJ down low. Nice move by AJ, getting a little dip under there, but unable to put it in. As Chamberlain will get it back to Dedeaux. Stubbs gets it back to Twyman. Twyman will go right, turns around Bryan, but Bryan with the steal, throws it back in, and AJ will recover it. Great defense from Fisher. Kai getting the ball at the free throw line and drawing the foul on the drive. Aliso Niguel so far doing a little bit better job of getting into the paint, and although they haven't been able to convert, at least getting to the foul line.
Yeah, they haven't been able to finish many of their drives, but they've been able to draw a foul and at least get to the line.
As Kai makes the first free throw, cutting the deficit to 10. And Kai will make the second. So only a 9-point deficit now for Aliso. Slowly clawing their way back as they were already down 15 earlier. As Chamberlain works on Jake Smith. That's Twyman with the jumper coming off the screen and draining it. Jake over to Fisher. Fisher double teamed. Able to get it back to Jonah. Jonah to Jake. Jake's going to take the three, and a little long there.
The Aliso Niguel Wolverines are settling for the three way too much. They need a. Most of their scoring drives have been when they take it to the basket and
as a jump ball is called there. Jonah able to hold up the ball on Dedeaux's shot, and possession will go back to the Wolverines. Good play by Jonah, but absolutely, Sammy, I couldn't agree more. Brian Fisher and Luke Chapley having some good success in the paint as Luke Chapley checks back in. And yeah, you like to see the Wolverines try to drive a little bit more, not just settle for that three. Now Jonah putting it up, and Jonah drains it. Now Jonah, I guess, would be the exception to that, huh, Sammy?
Well, yes, because Jonah is their three-point specialist, and whenever he has even the slightest bit of room, Coach Barnett wants him putting up the ball.
But Twyman coming right back with the jumper, knocking it down. 10-point lead for Elsinore, 29-19. Bryan being double teamed, gets it to Luke underneath, and Luke able to put it in. Great pass by Fisher.
Yeah, great vision by Brian Fisher to be able to make that pass even in a double team, but he's got to make a pass sooner before the double team gets to him, so he doesn't get into some trouble.
As Twyman puts up the jumper and is fouled by Fisher. Twyman with the hot hand for the Elsinore Tigers. He'll go to the line, and looks like he's going to be shooting 3 shots as that was beyond the arc. Poor foul by Fisher. We'll see if Twyman can convert these shots.
Brian Fisher definitely upset by the call as he's arguing with the ref. Not something you always want to do because, of course, they can't take back the call.
Twyman making the second. Still has one more. 9-point lead now for Elsinore at 30-21.
Definitely a better showing for this Wolverine team as they've narrowed down the lead this second quarter.
As Twyman knocks in the second. Yeah, absolutely, Sammy. The second quarter, they've come out and moved the ball a little bit better, able to knock down the free throw line. Scott Lynn's double teamed here and just able to get it away to Jonah. That Elsinore defense has really been suffocating here so far. As Luke will let that pass go through his hands and Elsinore will get the ball back. Sammy, it looks like they really need to start passing a little bit more frequently, a little quicker to try to not get trapped in those double teams.
Yeah, they have to move the ball quickly before the trap gets to them because as you can see, once the trap reaches them, they're having some trouble getting out of it.
As Twyman gets the ball back and he'll put up the contested 3. Looking for the foul there, but
not a shot you want to see from your players early on in the shot clock, but Twyman has made a few of those this game.
Scott Lynn's dart back to Luke, and Luke unable to put it in from right under the basket. Like the idea, however, Luke a little bit open down below.
Yeah, it seems to be a weakness in this Elsinore defense is they leave a lurking Luke Chapley open right underneath the basket. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to convert on that one.
As Twyman looks to give it to Devon Riley and throws it away there. So Wolverines fortunate for the Elsinore turnover, and we'll get the ball back down by 10 now with 3:37 left. 31-21. So Lynn's back to Chapley at midcourt. Chapley to Jake Smith as Brian Fisher's now on the bench getting a rest, and Jake Smith takes it in and makes the easy layup. Nice drive by Jake Smith. You like to see a little bit more of that from him. As it looks like Hoover got away with a little traveling call there. Hoover gets it back at the top of the key. Twyman again, and one. Drawing the foul on Scott Lynn's. Or excuse me, that was called back. It looks like a 3-second violation on Elsinore before the shot. So that one will not count. Big break for the Wolverines there.
That was definitely a lucky break for the Wolverines. They need to make sure they get a better job of getting a hand up in Twyman's face.
Great give by Scott Lynn's inside, and Luke is landed on basically by Devon Riley. And he'll go to the line for 2. Nice job by Scott being able to dribble out of those. The triple team actually at the top of the key that time as Elsinore takes the timeout, and the Wolverines have cut it to 8 now with 2 shots upcoming for Luke. Luke really having a killer game tonight.
Yeah, Luke Chapley's doing a great job of finding, getting open around the basket. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to make every single one, as it is a tough shot as you're under the basket, but he is doing a great job of getting open. It's just a matter of if the Wolverines can make that tough pass to get it to him.
Kind of small crowd here for Aliso Niguel tonight. Not what we're used to, but with the rainy weather, not as many kids coming out tonight. As Luke Chapley misses the first free throw. Gotta make those if you're Luke.
Yeah, free throws are definitely another big part of this, the Wolverines scoring today, so they've got to make sure they knock down every one they get.
Made the second, however. So 7-point lead now for Elsinore as Aliso slowly chipping away at it. See if they can get another stop on defense here. That was a pass by Riley and Jake Smith on the other end of it for the Wolverines. So another turnover by Elsinore. The Wolverines can really do themselves a favor here by getting some sort of possession, cutting it even closer. As Jonah dribbles at the top of the key looking for a pass. It's interesting, Sammy, how Wolverines are doing this without Fisher on the floor.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. I think that Fisher might be in some foul trouble, so Barnett might want to keep him on the bench for a little bit.
As that was a nice pass to Dideau down low. He puts it in for an easy 2. Scott Lynn's dribbling through the entire Elsinore team and putting it in. Great job by Scott Lynn's.
Yeah, great performance by Scott Lynn's right there. That's definitely something you want to see more from him. Able to break the double team and get a wide open layup.
Absolutely, Scott, not the biggest guy out there, obviously, but very good at handling the ball. As Dideau works down low on Luke Chapley. Spins inside, and Luke with the block. Looks like Mauricio Campos will be called for the loose ball foul there. And Twyman will inbound it for Elsinore as Mark Morris checks in for Luke Chapley. Yeah, Sammy, these are some interesting substitution patterns that we've been seeing from the Wolverines. Definitely not what we're used to, as Barnett looking for something to get the team going here.
I think that it's the Brian Fisher being on the bench and the physical aspect of this Elsinore team is causing him to change up his rotation.
Scott Lynn's dribbling down inside once again. Call gets the foul. Not able to make the shot, but great job once again. Scott Lynn's able to get inside using his speed at will the last couple of plays, and this time earns him a trip to the free throw line.
Scott Lynn's definitely stepping up right now as Brian Fisher's on the bench. He seemed to even be using a little bit of his power on that drive as he's sort of backing down Chamberlain.
Scotty drains his second, but misses the first. Again, these missed free throws are hurting the Wolverines here as they need every point they can get against these Tigers. As Chamberlain gets the ball in the wing, working against Jake Smith, and Dedeaux left wide open once again for the easy two. Have to wonder whose man that was right there.
Yeah, it was just a miscommunication from the Wolverines. Definitely something they need to step up on.
Scott Lynn's really doing a great job keeping his dribble alive there as Jake Smith will get it back, double teams, finds Jonah. Jonah back to Mauricio, and Mauricio will draw the foul. So Wolverines getting a little bit better at moving the ball around, getting some fouls called. I'd like to see that Coach Barnett's little experiment, if you will, as we definitely have not seen all of these players on the floor at once for the Wolverines this season. It's working out quite nicely so far as Fisher remains on the bench. Looks like he'll stay there until the end of the second quarter, or excuse me, the end of the first half. There's only 47 seconds left in the second as Mauricio Campos misses the first free throw.
I have to imagine that Scott Lynn's is going to get tired out pretty soon as he keeps having to dribble around this Elsinore defense to avoid the double team.
Mauricio making his second. So only a 7-point lead now for Elsinore. Aliso Niguel's cut it to 7 a couple times. Haven't been able to get below that as Mauricio trying for the steal, unable to get it. That's Hoover on the shot and unable to grab it. Scott Lynn's comes out with the board once again. As he is called, excuse me, that's Alan Stubbs, number 10 for the Tigers, called on the foul. Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine Scott has to be pretty tired right now, but only 30 seconds left till halftime. As Elsinore already with 10 fouls, Scott Lynn's will have 2 shots here from the line.
As I mentioned, Elsinore is definitely a more physical team, and you could definitely see it by the number of the fouls they have in the first half.
As AJ Manigault checks back in for Mauricio Campos, and really interesting substitutions, but can't argue right now as the Wolverines have cut it now to 5 points after Scott Lynn's drains and 2 free throws. 35-30. So instead of like the Capo game where Aliso Niguel got in a hole early and wasn't able to come back, it looks like they've been able to come back here a little bit until Chamberlain puts that in. And the Wolverines will have 14 seconds left to work with here. Scott Lynn's to Jake Smith. Jake Smith quickly double teamed. Jonah Gans gets the ball back. 6 seconds left. Jonah dribbles right, gives it back to Scott. Scott off to Jake Smith in the corner. Gets away with the travel and puts it in, and that counts.
Good move. Good move by Jake Smith. Yeah, that spin move is technically a travel, but popular move in the NBA right now, and refs don't seem to be calling it lately.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't go wrong there as Aliso Niguel has cut it back to 5 points here. So Aliso Niguel now only down 5, 37-32 as we have a couple minutes back until the third quarter resumes. Sammy really coming back from a 15-point deficit at one point in the first. What's been the key to success for the Wolverines?
Well, I mean, the Wolverines, offensively, they've had some key players step up, like Scott Lynn's, and Brian Fisher did a great job in the first half of the second quarter, but obviously he was out for the second half. And, yeah, Scott Lynn's and Luke Chapley, too. They've been just playing a good game and kind of stepping up for this Wolverine offense.
Absolutely. So hopefully Aliso Niguel will be able to continue that in the third quarter, and we'll be right back. All right, so we welcome you back here just a minute or so before the start of the second half. 37-32, Elsinore on top here. The Wolverines are trying to claw back from a really great Elsinore start, and especially in this first quarter where they were down by 15. As the Wolverines also employing a couple of unique, if you might say, lineups in that second quarter, able to cut the deficit down. And Sammy, do you think that they'll come out here?
So you mean the starting lineup? Will they come out here? Yeah. The Barnett will definitely start with his usual rotation. As you can see him stepping onto the floor right now.
Yeah, right, all the starters back in.
Yeah, I think that he just took him out, took Brian Fisher out, which kind of screwed up his rotation due to foul trouble.
Yeah, Brian, a couple early fouls in that first quarter and really not able to get going that much as Molnar works on Chamberlain. Scott Lynn's poking the ball away, and he will collect the steal. Able to put it in for a nice quick start for the Wolverines, cutting it down to 3. Great job by Scott Lynn's.
Great job by the Wolverines to not give up after the first quarter and really claw back into this game.
As a foul called on the cutting Hoover there, it looks like that'll be called on Jonah Gans. So Elsinore will inbound the ball here. It's Hoover to inbound, looking for someone. Finally leaves it up to Dudeau. And Hoover will get it back. Chamberlain at the top of the key. Fisher on defense. Dudeau gets it back. Back to Chamberlain and back to Hoover. Good ball movement here by Elsinore. Looking for the open shot is, that's Twyman inside on Scott Lynn's, able to put it in, using his size to put in the shot. Scott Lynn's has to be really careful here as he doesn't have a complete point guard as his backup now that Ronnie Harris is out with that ankle injury.
Sort of a questionable call, as at least I thought that Scott had his feet set and his hands straight up, but apparently the refs thought differently.
Be really tough to lose Scott Lynn's at any point during this game as he's been instrumental in getting good ball movement, getting as Luke walks down low. As I was saying, Scott really instrumental in helping the Wolverines break through this full court defense that Elsinore's been playing.
Yeah, he has the varsity experience to retain his composure and make sure to take good care of the ball in this tight Elsinore pressure.
Dudeau gets it at the top of the key, tries to force a pass down low and intercepted and collected finally by Jonah Gans. So another Elsinore turnover here to start the third quarter. As Scott Lynn's goes left, goes up and draws the foul. Great move by Scott. Looks like that was called on Dudeau, number 2 for Elsinore.
Great crossover by Scott Lynn. Seems like Lynn seems to be a little bit frustrated with the way that the Wolverines offense is going currently. So he's decided to step up and take it into his own hands.
He'll miss the first free throw, however. Puts in the second. So still a 5-point advantage for Elsinore after everything's said and done, 40-35. 6:30 left in the third. Chamberlain working on Fisher, he'll get the ball. Nice help by Matt Molnar at the top of the key. That's a long 3 by Twyman, and he'll put it in for Elsinore.
Twyman definitely seems to have the hot hand for Elsinore today, at least from beyond the arc.
As Brian takes it himself, the nice spin move, able to put it up and in. Really first true driving, scoring opportunity for Fisher tonight. That's really saying a lot for Elsinore's defense, is usually Fisher puts up a lot of points early. That's Chamberlain working inside, and another foul called. Jonah Gans will pick up another one.
Coach Barnett telling Jonah Gans to stop reaching and just put his hands up to avoid that foul being called.
Chamberlain misses the first free throw. as number 45, Nolan Peralta, checks back in for the Tigers. And Chamberlain missing the second. That ball hit off the dough. The Wolverines get away with one there with no points allowed. Aliso Niguel really looking to get some of their other players going so far, as it's only been Luke and Scott mainly tonight putting up points. Scott gets the ball back. That one's just a little bit off from three.
Good shot by Scott Linz, though. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it.
That was a great defensive play at the other end by Matt Molnar, knocking the ball away, and that ends off being off the knee of Dudeau. A great job by Molnar as Scott Linz brings it back up the floor. Ducking inside, and ball squirts out to Luke, who gives it off to Brian. Brian will drive baseline, look to Jonah, back to Scott. Great ball movement. That shot by Scott Linz just a little short. Like the intentions, however, from the Wolverines. As Chamberlain takes it inside, Brian stuffs the pass, but Twyman will get it back, and he'll put up the three, and he makes it again. E.J. Twyman, number 3, really hurting the Wolverines from distance tonight.
Not much more he can do if you're Scott Linz. He put a hand up and contested the shot, but Twyman just has a little bit more size on him and was able to put it in.
As Brian unable to make the three, but Molnar with the rebound. Scott driving in and unable to get it. Nice look from Scott, but unable to put it in as Twyman comes back once again. Had to miss at some point and wasn't able to get down the fall, and Luke Chapley will come down with the board. Game's intensity picking back up here as Scott Linz will give it back to Luke. Luke with the three, and Luke will make the three. Of all people on the Wolverines, Luke Chapley with the three-pointer. Like to see him get more involved in the second half. As Elsinore slows it down a little bit here and actually runs some offense. Twyman once again taking the jumper, and he puts it in again. E.J. Twyman just on fire starting the third quarter here for Elsinore.
Yeah, Twyman's absolutely putting on a shooting clinic right now, and I mean, there's great defense by the Wolverines. They're contesting the shots and putting a hand up in his face. There's not much more you can do if you're the Wolverines defense.
Yeah, absolutely. As Twyman has come out and made 10 points so far already in the third. So Aliso Niguel really needs to find a way to slow him down from beyond the arc. On the other end, on the offensive side, Aliso Niguel getting a little bit more ball movement, but just not getting shots to fall so far.
Yeah, I mean, first step though is creating the open shot, and if you keep taking them, they will fall eventually. So good job by the Wolverines to find the open man and work the ball around quickly. Hopefully they'll be able to knock him down as we continue the second half. Absolutely.
So it's 48-40 right now with about 4 minutes left in the third as we get back to the action here. Well, Matt Molnar will inbound the ball. Jonah Gans dribbling a little in the backcourt, able to get it out to Fisher. We'll give it back to Jonah. Jonah with the long three, and he puts it in. Nice shot from Jonah Gans. Matt Molnar working on Dudeau on the outside, gives it to Hoover, back to Chamberlain. Jake Smith is checked in now, and Chamberlain puts in the three. Looks like Elsinore is really heating up from beyond the arc here in the third quarter.
Yeah, hopefully the Wolverines will have an answer for this Elsinore shooting clinic.
Chamberlain going for the steal there a couple minutes ago on Fisher. Unable to get it, and Brian knocks down the three. So it's 2 threes in a row from the Wolverines, finally starting to heat up a little bit from beyond the arc. First Luke, then Jonah, now Fisher, all making threes here in the third quarter and cutting the lead back to 5. Twyman again will try from distance, and that time unable to put it in. Fisher dribbles out the double team, puts his head down and puts it in. Great drive by Brian Fisher.
Good job by the Wolverines. They seem to have a offensive spark right now, and they've been able to cut the lead down to 3.
That's Hoover with the jumper, and that's short. Molnar with the rebound. Aliso Niguel can tie it here with the 3 for the first time tonight. This is Jake Smith. He'll give it back to Fisher, to Jonah. Jonah with a long 3, a little long. And Twyman with the rebound, looking to push the pace. And he'll get the easy 2. Jake Smith with the 3 here. Not going to fall. Luke Chapley tipping it in the direction of Jonah Gans. Not able to fall. Coach Barnett not very happy with that shot selection, Sammy, as you might imagine.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit too happy with the 3s that they were making, and they decided to start taking more and more. But as you can see, they weren't able to make them, and it's kind of detracting a little bit from their offense.
As Coach Barnett obviously would want to see more ball movement and everything, as Chamberlain works on Morris, and Morris will foul Chamberlain after the shot.
Chamberlain is fouled on a shot attempt. He'll have 2 free throws.
So Chamberlain will have 2 free throws here.
Personal foul on Mark Morris is the first.
And Chamberlain will miss another free throw. Really hasn't had much luck from the line tonight. Let's see if he can make his second one. And he will. So it was just 3 points, already back up to 6-point lead for Elsinore. So Wolverines continuing their passing. Brian dribbling left, will drive, look to Luke underneath the basket. Luke unable to make it, gets it back, still unable to make it, and Mark Morris finally cleaning up with the board and put back.
Seems to be a reoccurring theme for the Wolverines tonight. Luke Chapley is continuing to miss wide open layups, but fortunately they were able to put it back in.
As Mark Morris is called for another foul there, a blocking foul. I don't know about that one, Sammy. Mark Morris looked to get there early and have his feet set, but Dideau putting his shoulder down and able to force up the shot, gets the points as well as the foul, and we'll have an and 1 here.
I mean, personally, I don't believe that Mark got there in time, but the Elsinore player definitely lowered his shoulder and seemed to bowl him over. So I don't know. It's a questionable call for the refs.
Looks like we might have an injury timeout for Dideau number 2 as he walks off the court with one of the assistant coaches. We'll see. It looks like number 22, Tommy Wilson, will check in for Elsinore. First time he's come off the bench tonight. And he'll be taking the free throws in place of Dideau, who's getting examined by the medical staff. Looks like Dideau might have got hit in the eye or something similar like that, as that first shot by Wilson is short off the iron. See if the Wolverines can work here against Jake Smith, making a nice move to the right. And a foul called.
Good move by Jake Smith to make a driving attempt to the basket. Saw a similar move from him earlier this game, and he was able to convert. Something we'd like to see more of him as we continue
Jake
this game.
Smith is definitely put on some weight in the offseason, in a good way, gotten a lot stronger as Brian puts up the 3, and he drains it once again. Brian Fisher with another 3. And cutting the lead back to only 3 for Elsinore. That's number 10, Alan Stubbs, who's back in the game now. He gives it back off to Chamberlain. Chamberlain back to Twyman. This time it chooses to drive in. And a foul called, looks like on Luke Chapley, number 5. And Coach Barnett unhappy with that shot contest by Luke, as Brian had already got some good position in front of Twyman to make that a hard shot, and Luke bailing him out on that play.
Yeah, definitely bailout by Luke Chapley. It seemed, I was a little confused from the ref because it seemed like he blew the whistle before Luke Chapley even committed the foul. But definitely a way to bail out Twyman as he goes to the line.
And Twyman will make both free throws. The lead back to 5 for Elsinore. 58-53 as we enter the last minute of the third quarter. Fisher working on Hoover there. Drives in and throws one up, looking for the foul call, none coming. Twyman gets by Jonah Gans on the baseline and comes inside and puts it in. Great move by Twyman, really taking this game over in the third quarter.
Yeah, the Wolverines definitely don't have a defensive answer for Twyman, as he's been having his way with the Wolverines tonight.
So 8 seconds left, Wolverines holding for the last shot. Brian Fisher driving left, pulls up, little off with the 3. Twyman just chucks up a square and that'll fall short. So at the end of 3 quarters, it looks like Elsinore with 60, Wolverines with 53, as we have 8 more minutes to play with fourth quarter. Sammy, the Wolverines been able to cut it to 3 on a couple occasions, but really haven't been able to take the lead or tie. What do they have to do in the fourth quarter to come out with a win tonight?
I mean, first of all, they definitely need to find a way to stop Twyman, as he's been scoring multiple threes from on the Wolverines, and now recently we've seen him driving a lot more, and he seems to be getting his way in the paint as well. So the Wolverines need to find a way to stop him, and offensively they need to keep making their shots and not just rely on the three-pointer. As you can see, they've been making it and missing it periodically throughout the game.
Absolutely. The Wolverines seem to be living and dying by the 3, if you will, the past couple of games. And tonight, really kind of half and half, been making a couple of shots and then missing a couple. Haven't been really able to get into the flow of their offense the entire game, really. So it looks like if they'll be able to come out here and put some points on the board in the fourth quarter, and absolutely have to stop Twyman, just having an amazing game, number 3 on Elsinore. Well, the Wolverines with the ball. Brian Fisher inside, working on Hoover. Nice spin move to the left and puts that in. What a play by Fisher.
Great.
Really can't defend that one.
Yeah, great move by Brian Fisher. Definitely juked out number 4, Chance Hover.
Over here with the ball, looking for the pass. Good defense by Scott Linz on the cutter. He gives it off to Chamberlain. Twyman back out beyond the arc, and he'll put up another 3, and he'll put it in. Twyman just having the game of his life tonight against these Wolverines, and that was good defense by Fisher as well.
Yeah, the defense can't get much better. I mean, Fisher did everything he could to stop the 3 from going in, but I think what they need to start doing is make sure the ball is out of Twyman's hands.
As Fisher unable to connect from the corner 3, and Luke Chapley losing the rebound out of bounds. Elsinore ball. As Twyman brings it back up. Twyman hasn't sat on the bench tonight at all, so you can see why. Definitely one of the best players for Elsinore. This time working against Jake Smith. And he'll give it off. Gets it back to the top of the key, gives it to Dordeau, who's back in the game now with some bandages under his left eye. Must have got hit on that driving attempt earlier in the third quarter. As Twyman again puts it up, and again, good defense by Jake Smith. Not really out of position, had his hand up. Twyman just making some incredible shots so far.
Yeah, definitely one of the best shooters this Aliso Niguel team has seen, and they just can't seem to stop him.
As Brian Fisher gets some contact in the key and not called. Twyman the other way, a little long on the layup.
You can definitely see Brian Fisher getting frustrated with the no calls by the refs as he keeps looking for the foul down low.
Looks like there was one deserved though on that last one. So he was able to get that rebound back, but unable to do anything with it as Chamberlain puts up the 3. That's a little long. Chamberlain able to track down his own board, however. And Elsinore will have a fresh shot clock. 5:45 left now in the fourth, and Aliso Niguel back down by 10. Twyman collects the pass from Hover, and that one put in.
Elsinore seems to be running away with the lead right now. It's back up to 12, and Coach Barnett taking a timeout to gather up his Aliso team.
So the Wolverines entering the second half with only a 3-point deficit. Unfortunately, now in the fourth quarter with 5:26 left to play, they're down by 12. Sammy, is there any way with the shooting that Elsinore's been doing, is there any way Aliso can get back in this one?
I mean, right now they need to stop Twyman, and it doesn't seem to be working by just putting a hand up in his face, as we've seen him make some incredible shots that were deep, both deep and contested. So I think right now what Coach Barnett needs to start doing is maybe deny Twyman and make sure he doesn't touch the ball to prevent him from making those long-range threes.
Yeah, see if the Wolverines can play some defense to make the other players on the court for Elsinore touch the ball and put in some points. Right now it's all E.J. Twyman for the Tigers, and for the Wolverines, really kind of a sloppy start to the fourth quarter. Haven't really been able to put anything together offensively. As Brian Fisher still talking with the ref over there about that last couple of non-calls. So Luke Chapley will inbound here. Give it to Jake Smith at the line. Jonah cross court to Fisher, back to Linz. Scott will give it back to Fisher. Fisher cross court to Gans. Gans will put up the three. It's a little short. Jake Smith almost getting the tip in right there, but steals the rebound. Puts it up and in. Nice play by Jake Smith. That's what you like to see from the junior.
Yeah, good fight by Jake Smith. Not give up on the play.
As Dudeau comes back with the three and knocks it down.
Tough break for the Wolverines. They definitely need to put up a hand on Dudeau now too, as he was able to put that one in.
Luke giving it out to Fisher. Fisher working on Chamberlain. Scott Linz with the long three, and that's a little short. Jake Smith with the rebound, however. And Brian will take the three, and he banks that one in. Oh, really? That was such a bad shot that he made it in a way. He shot it so far over the rim that it banks in.
Definitely not the way Brian Fisher wanted to see that shot go in,
absolutely, but
he'll take it.
Can't complain.
30 seconds, man.
Can't complain with the result there, as the Wolverines will take a 30-second timeout. So able to cut it back down to 10 points, and it's just tough for the Wolverines here, Sammy, as every time they go down and make a shot, Elsinore comes back and makes three in a row. Really just shooting all around lights out for the Tigers in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's tough for the Wolverines. I mean, they're doing everything they can offensively. They just need to step it up defensively and make sure to get that they're able to get some stops if they want to get back in this one.
Elsinore will have the ball here after the Wolverines timeout. And it looks like the Wolverines will be playing a little bit more press here. AJ Manigault, number 30, checking in.
Yeah, the Wolverines, Coach Barnett going with a quicker lineup to put on the press.
AJ working on Dudeau in the corner. Gets it off to Stubbs, who gives it back to Chamberlain. Chamberlain double teamed by Jake Smith and Jonah Gans. And Chamberlain able to squeak out a pass. Peralta with the ball gives it back to Twyman, and Twyman making the shot. Twyman has to be by far one of the most dynamic players the Wolverines have seen all year. Definitely a step above the competition in the rest of the Seaview League, that's for sure. That pass by Fisher collected by Gans in the corner. Jonah looking to somewhere to go with the ball. Nice pass from Jake back to Luke. And Brian will end up taking a contested three, and that one rims out. So Twyman on the rebound. Twyman with the pass to Dordeau down beneath, and he'll be able to give it back. Twyman against Gans here at the top of the key, gives it back to Chamberlain. Jonah now working on Dordeau. And that's a foul on Jonah Gans.
I don't agree with the ref on that call. It seemed like Dordeau lowered his shoulder into Jonah Gans.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonah Gans getting caught with an elbow on that one. I don't know about that call.
Tough break for the Wolverines.
It was Luke Chapley and AJ Manigault will check out. Mauricio Campos and Scott Linz coming in. Scott Linz able to get a breather here, as he has really been a key catalyst for the Wolverines so far, as that free throw's off. And Scott will get it and look to push the pace. Back out to Jonah in the corner. Jonah missing that three from Mauricio, trying to get back, but Scott with the rebound. And Scott will get hammered down low by Chamberlain and Peralta. He'll have 2 free throws here with 3 minutes left. Wolverines really need to make these free throws and get some stops on defense if they're going to look to come back in this one.
Yeah, great rebound, offensive rebound by Scott Linz. A little uncharacteristic by them, but I have to say, against the Wolverines, I think that was another bad call by the ref, as it seemed, at least from my perspective, to be a clean block by Chamberlain.
So Scott Linz knocks down 2, lead back down to 10 for Elsinore. Aliso now playing full court press. Peralta left all alone, and the easy 2 is put in.
That's just terrible communication by the Wolverines. They cannot leave a man wide open like that if they want to get back in this one.
Fisher passes up to 3 to Scott Linz, who will put it up. And I don't know about that shot selection right there, Sammy, with 30 seconds left in the shot clock, but Scott gets it back. Ball goes out of bounds, however, and Elsinore will get the possession.
Yeah, Scott Linz, I mean, the shots are on target, but as I saw in his game against Laguna Hills, every shot just seems to be a little bit too short. So hopefully he'll be able to make the adjustment and put it in.
You have to wonder if that's fatigue, however, as Twyman running down the court, and that one's called out on Aliso. Elsinore gets the ball. Luke Chapley will check back in for Jake Smith, as Twyman will inbound the ball here. Bordeaux gets it, looking for the pass. Give it back off to Twyman, and a timeout called by Elsinore with 2:28 left. Elsinore still with a 12-point lead here. Time is slowly but surely running out for the Wolverines.
Yeah, the Wolverines definitely need to pick it up quickly if they want to get back in this one, as they're facing a 12-point deficit against an unstoppable Elsinore team with 2.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Elsinore just really can't do anything wrong on the offensive end, and the Wolverines, if they make one mistake, they get penalized. So we take a little break from this one with the Elsinore timeout. We want to remind you that this Friday the 27th, Aliso Niguel will play Mission Viejo here at Aliso Niguel, 7 o'clock. That looks to be an exciting game as well. Mission Viejo, one of the top teams in the county this year, just like last year. Maybe if you remember that great matchup, Aliso Niguel at Mission from last year, where it was a very competitive game. Hopefully that will be the same with this Friday. And a side note to that game as well, it'll be a senior class fundraiser at Chick-fil-A in Aliso Viejo before the game. So hopefully you guys will head out to Chick-fil-A in town center of Aliso Viejo, buy some lunch, and then head out to the game. Support the class of 2012. As Bordeaux will get that ball in, Twyman with it. Twyman will pass it off to Chamberlain, left open. He'll put up the 3, and it's a little bit long. Peralta with the rebound. Ball still loose. Mauricio Campos comes down with it for the Wolverines. Scott Linz collects the pass. Scott Linz with another 3. He'll get bailed out, however, that was a foul on Chamberlain. Poor foul by Lawrence Chamberlain gets Scott Linz to the line for 3, where he's been pretty good so far tonight.
Yeah, another, like I said earlier, another short 3 by Scott Linz. I actually talked to him after the Laguna Hills game. He said his knee was just kind of giving out late in the game due to fatigue. As you can see, he's wearing a knee brace on his right knee. So hopefully he'll be able to play through it and put a little extra power on those long distance shots.
As Jake Smith checks in for Mauricio Campos. And yeah, especially the way Scott's been playing tonight, really the guy in charge of getting the ball through Elsinore's press defense tonight, as he makes the last 2. It's back down to a 10-point lead. Scott has to be exhausted by now. Really played almost the entire game, running very fast the entire time, as Twyman brings this one up. Jonah Gans gets his hand in front of the ball, however, and he'll get the steal back off to Fisher. Fisher with the fast break to Luke, and Luke puts it in. Great pass by Fisher. And Luke able to put in the 2. Now only 8 points left. 1:50 remaining in the 4th. as Jonah Gans looks to come and double Twyman at the key. And he will steal it again here. Give it off to Fisher. Fisher goes up and draws the foul, finally getting the foul that he's been looking for. Great job
hustle
by Jonah Gans.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Great hustle by Jonah Gans. He's been able to tip the last 2 Elsinore passes, so he's getting in the right spot at the right time and making the defensive stop.
Fisher missing the first free throw. These free throws are killing the Wolverines. Really need to be putting these in. O'Brien will have his second. We'll drain that one. So the lead down to 7 for Elsinore as time continues to tick by. 1:35 left. Wolverines need some more steals here. They will double Twyman. Back out to Hoover. Twyman with the ball again. Back to Chamberlain. Jonah Gans running around doubling people here as that Stubbs with the ball, gives it back out.
Elsinore beginning to wind out the clock as they're passing up wide open shots.
And now someone looks like Jonah Gans will commit the foul there on Chamberlain. And yeah, Aliso Niguel has to start fouling here as there's only 1:14 left. And Chamberlain's the ideal guy to foul, really having a poor night from the line tonight. And yes, he misses another one. So Wolverines, good strategy there, fouling Chamberlain. And Fisher will bring it back up the court. Drive left, look to Jake Smith with the 3, and he drains it. What a shot by Jake Smith, great job. Making it when it really counts for the Wolverines here as Wolverines will press again, now only down by 4. Twyman will give up the ball, Jonah Gans recovers. Brian Fisher looking up to Jake Smith, and Jake Smith unable to put in the alley-oop. You'd like to see him maybe take that one down and catch it, collect himself and put it in, but...
Poor decision making by Jake Smith, but he was unfortunately not able to put it in off the tough move. But now the Wolverines foul and Chamberlain's back at the line. Hopefully he'll be able to make these if he wants to seal this Elsinore win.
Jonah will be taken out in favor of Mauricio Campos here. So Chamberlain with some huge free throws here. 42.8 seconds as you hear the Wolverine crowd really amped up in the background. And he'll miss it again. The Wolverines fouling Chamberlain has really paid off here. And Fisher will take it up the court. Put up the 3. Just bouncing out, unable to get it to fall, and a foul committed. Tough bounce for the Wolverines there. Fisher unable to put that one in. See who is at the line. Thankfully for Elsinore, it's not Chamberlain this time, it's Durdeau. There'll be 2 shots here now as the Wolverines far into the bonus. Durdeau makes the first.
Wolverines want to get a couple quick buckets as there's only 30 seconds left on the clock.
Durdeau missing the second one. Fisher with the rebound. He'll push the pace here. Gives it off to Jake Smith. Jake with the 3. That's going to be short. Almost has his own rebound. Twyman recovers it, however, and Wolverines need to foul, and they do with 19.7 seconds left here. Coach Barnett not really happy that it was Jake Smith taking that 3. He's made a couple today, but
yeah, really, definitely a questionable shot by Jake Smith, taking a long contested 3. Coach Barnett is saying that he should have pump faked and drove on the play and maybe draw the foul and at best get an and 1.
So the worst person for the Wolverines to put at the line is their Twyman. I just can't wait to see the box score for Twyman after this game. Just incredible numbers all night. And he'll make the second one. The Wolverines now with 7 points in 19 seconds. Brian Fisher will take the long 3. That's off. As the clock continues to run down here, and looks like that will be the end of the night for the Wolverines. As we wind down the clock here, disappointing end as the Wolverines fall short in the fourth quarter.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to convert some last minute shots, and Elsinore was able to fend them off and secure the win.
Yeah, tough loss for the Wolverines tonight, but again, going against a very strong opponent and number 70th ranked Elsinore in the state. So Aliso Niguel has to be proud of that effort tonight as they fall short by 7. Again, Aliso Niguel will be facing off against Mission Viejo that next Friday. They'll be here again at 7 o'clock. We hope to see you there. Until then, for Sammy Nabahani, for cameraman Rob Krohn and Nathan Allen, I'm Kaard Bombe. We'll see you next time.